Okay, welcome everybody. You guys are entering mid conversation. So, welcome to the show. This is with Ehmandah Ramsey. We were just trying to figure out, so how did we meet, man? It's been years. There's something to do with music and
Yeah.
church and all that stuff. Now, I definitely reached out because I remember back then it was through music, and then I started to follow you and see the different things that you were doing.
Yeah.
And then it just got better quality, more consistent. I'm like, yeah, dude, she definitely has a vision and I can see it transform. So I'm like, yeah, let's it's probably a good time to talk because from where we met years ago to where you're at now, I'm really interested in what that journey looks like.
Yeah.
Because the stuff you're doing is very, very high quality. So I think it might have been related to Selah, maybe.
Yes, yes, yes. Disciples of the Most High and
Yeah. That was really, really, really back. That was like early foundation, man. Um,
yeah,
in at least Los
fishermen.
Angeles. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Amanda is a influencer in the Christian Los Angeles kind of market for entertainment and all things social. Definitely, she's got her finger on the pulse of what people are doing, and she puts out some really high quality stuff. So, but we met from through the Disciples of the Most High, which was a Christian hip hop group, and boy, it's and Selah's moved,
Yeah,
right?
he moved. Yeah.
Yeah,
I still am in contact with him. That's crazy.
yeah. I'm definitely gonna try to get him on because he's got a really interesting
Yeah.
spin on things and how they did the business and are doing really well with the Airbnb. So what are you doing nowadays, man?
Man, I still do a little bit of music. A director of worship at a local church in the IE. So singing, not professionally, not as an artist, but wherever I have the opportunity to give in service, either funerals or memorials, and then of course, serving God with my music at church. So that's what I'm doing musically. So I still have a pulse on my creative self, but if I had to look overall of what I do is like I am a curator, I believe a curator of transformational events and spaces for women, women's empowerment, women healing, women telling their stories, women finding who they are and sharing their gift with the world.
That's good. That's good because it seems like there's a lot of women who outwardly look like on Instagram and social, they've got everything buttoned up and together when in reality after eventually something comes out on their stories and like, oh,
Like what happened?
yeah.
It's like when you were a kid and you had a soda can and your mom or your dad would tell you, "Don't you shake that soda can," right? And I believe that's
Hmm.
how it is. At least I can say this for women is that when we experience different things in life and on the outside it looks really great and we just keep getting shaken up and never taking the time to go through our healing process or to speak our story or to just release and let things go. And then once you snap that, the lid on the can, then and like you said, just that's how we just see the explosiveness of someone, having burnout or breaking down. It's just they reach the tipping point.
Yeah. So your audience, the people that you help, are the ones that are boiling inside secretly, but then you come alongside them and help them kind of work through all those things so they don't blow up and don't like just crash and burn.
Yeah, I've had this beautiful journey of how I've seen how my life has progressed, and God using me in different spaces. And I think one of the earlier memories that I have is I used to work at a residential treatment facility, right? And I was hired on as a chaplain. So I was the
Hmm.
spiritual care provider for the campus, for the direct care staff, for the boys, and then also for the executive team. And here I am brought in as therapeutic intervention, not knowing that that was the beginning of me doing what I'm doing now, which is
Mm.
really holding space for people, listening to them, and then helping them to see where they want to go, what path they want to pursue. And like you said, and be that preventative care. You don't have to blow up like I did, or you don't have
Mm.
to like reach your tipping point like I did. Here's another way. Yeah.
Wow. And how do how do you know who, because on social or whatever when they're posting one thing when reality is different. right? How do you see through that, I guess, that image to where you can understand what's really happening behind the scenes without, like, obviously digging, because I assume some people might be hitting you up asking general questions, but really they're really trying to come through and ask for help, but they don't outrightly come and say it, because maybe
Yeah.
fear, embarrassment.
Exactly. I think I have this beautiful gift of when
Mm,
people see me, they just open up. And that could be anywhere, men, women, whoever. It doesn't necessarily have to be on social media. But I just think that I create this space for people to feel like they're welcome to share. And so I think after a few moments in my conversation, I'll be like, okay, well, what's going on with you? How are you
mm.
feeling? And
And then
that
they
kind
start crying.
of, right? Oh my God. Thank you so much. So
Yeah,
essentially listening to you. Yeah.
yeah.
Because we all need that, right, Rob? I mean, geez, we do. Because we often, walk around with masks and people say how we're doing. We're like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing good. But on the inside, we're like dying and screaming. And somebody, please, like, give me a hand up, rescue me, hold my hand,
Mm.
wipe my tears, something. Yeah.
Yeah. So for people, so I try to, for my kids, I try to, before school, is tell them, hey, at lunch, when you see somebody sitting by themselves, either invite them to sit with you or just go sit with them and have lunch. That's an easy spot. You can spot them really easy. They're sitting by themselves. Online is different. So are there any specific questions that people can ask that would make them feel comfortable to know, okay, this is a safe space for me because she asked the right questions?
Mm.
Or is it more just calling it out and being serious and firm, like, hey, what's going on?
I think it's
Or
more serious and firm. I think with the content that I've been putting out over the last couple of years, I personally want to be very transparent, and even in the spaces that I curate, I'm very transparent about what I'm going through. I have this level of vulnerability to make sure people know that we have some commonality. Like,
Mm,
I know that, my hair looks great, I got makeup on, and I look cute or whatever, but there are moments when I deal with self doubt, right? I deal with imposter syndrome. You're not alone, especially if it's something that you've just recently come out of, like if you had failure or something like that in a business or in a project or even in a relationship. Sometimes you deal with self doubt and imposter syndrome, and it's just real. And I think a lot of times people don't talk about that stuff. A lot of times people don't talk about the messy middle, right? We get the beginning
mm,
of the situation, and then we get the rainbow, right? We get the gold at the end. But doggone it, what happened in the middle? Because that's
yeah,
where I'm at. I want to know, how can I get to the goal?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying it's not the questions you ask in the moment, it's more
Hmm.
the questions and the content you ask leading up to it, right? So what
Yeah.
the content you put out, if you share your vulnerability, that's what's going to bring people to relate to you, kind of.
Yes. And just making yourself available, right? We need to
Uh,
be active listeners, right?
mm,
Most times we're like double dutch, like somebody's talking and we're just waiting to give them an answer or waiting to give them advice. But how about if you just pause and be an active listener and hear what
mm,
someone is saying? And when you feel led, not because you just want to give them an answer, but when you feel led or the space opens up in that person's heart to receive, then you give those words.
can everybody do this? Because it sounds like we all need it, but is this skill set something that everyone can, like, learn and develop in?
I believe we all can learn to be an active listener
Mm, mm, mm.
and not be so quick to give advice.
Because it seems like a lot of people are natural to do that. Yeah.
Well, I know what you need to do. You need to do da 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 da. Da. I didn't even ask you that. I just wanted to share how I was feeling.
Boy, that's probably one of the hardest things to do, is to not want to help and just, like, listen.
It really is. You know what, Rob? And I learned this lesson from my daughter. I have a really great relationship with my daughter. I was a single mom. We've been through a lot of trauma. Me specifically with domestic violence, and her seeing some things when she was younger. So we've had a really healing relationship along the way. But I often would have conversations with her. She's an adult, and she'll call me and talk to me about things. And in times past, I will be quick to give the advice. She'll be like, "Well, mom," da, 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 and like, blah, 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 blah. She's like, "Mom, I'm not asking for your advice. I just want to vent. I just want to share how I feel. That's it." And I'm like, "Okay, I need to really work on being an active listener and just be there."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That requires a lot of self-awareness.
And self control.
Self-control. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I got a question on that. How would you encourage people to build their muscle for self-control? Because self-awareness and self-control is probably the hardest things to master. you know, naturally we're a certain way. Do you have any suggestions on self-control?
Well, first you have to be self aware, right?
Yeah.
You really have to do an assessment. And specifically, we're talking about holding space for people and being there for people. You got to do an assessment. Okay, last conversation I had with my daughter, she's already expressed to me how she feels when she just wants to vent. Was I present in that last conversation? I'll ask her, "How am I doing? Was I
Mm,
present? Was I
mhm.
there?" Then she'll give me the feedback. I'm like, "Okay, you know what? Next time, I'm going to try to do better and just listen. And, when you want me to share my opinion, then let me know." I said, "But I'm your mom. So I'm always going to be your mom." You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to share. So I would say do a self assessment first. See where you are in your relationships and how you communicate with people. And then,
Mm,
secondly, from there, I think it's important for us to learn how people communicate, right? You think about love languages, how people, are gift givers or people quality time. I believe it's the same way in friendships that we have to know our people, right? You
mm.
got to know your person. Okay, let me dial it back a little bit and have some self control because if I say something, then they're going to respond maybe in a negative way. So let me pull back because I'm knowing who I'm talking to. I'm paying attention to what they're saying. So then I know how to move forward in this conversation.
Boy, that seems like a lot of work.
It is. But guess what? You can do it, especially if you want to have a healthy relationship with someone.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That makes
Think about
sense.
your kids, right? Like, how many kids do you have?
Four.
Four. They all have different personalities, right? You cannot
Yes.
talk to the same kid. You can't talk to this kid like you can talk to the other one. One of them might crush if you say things a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Because you know your children. And how do you know your kids? Because you spend time with them, you
Yeah.
ask them.
Reflect,
Yes.
study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with people.
Oh, man. With people. It's like everyone I meet, I need to run this assessment in my brain, this quick
Yeah.
assessment.
And I think when you work in a managerial position,
Mm,
or if you're in C-suite and you work with a lot of people, you're dealing with a lot of personalities, you really have to take a step back and learn your people. Okay, I need to approach Sarah like this, and I need to approach Sam this way. We just really have to learn that,
yeah.
especially in service work.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Service. Did you have a podcast or you still have it?
I had a podcast. It
Have
was
it.
called Dope
Yeah.
Confidence. Yeah. Where I talk to entrepreneurs really about building their self belief and their self confidence. Because I think it's important as entrepreneurs, we look like we got it all together. But there's times where we're like, "I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I don't know if this is gonna work."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. What projects are you excited about that you're working on right now?
Wow, I'm excited about this new chapter in my personal brand where I'm not only holding space for women, but really teaching them to it's okay for you to be ambitious, but also for you to rest or take care of yourself or prioritize your well-being. I think because we're in a hustle culture, be it in
Yeah.
building a career or a business, we are told, I'll sleep when I die.
Yeah.
You need to take care of yourself. You need to make sure that you are taking care of your well being, not only for you, but also for your family, so that you can live this life that you work so hard for and not just make the money, but just actually live it.
Yeah. 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 How long did it take for you to get to the realization like, okay, this is the lane I want to take with people and encouraging them and holding space for them?
Hmm. I think it just came naturally. I'm a pastor's kid.
Mm,
I'm a PK, you know what I'm saying? And I think, that's just a part of my calling was to hold space for people and still is. It
yeah.
just sometimes I think it shifts, sometimes it shifts to, okay, let me talk to just, the everyday woman, or let me talk to entrepreneurs, or business people. So it shifts, but it all still is the same thing, holding space for people.
Yeah. Okay, PK, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of PKs have a hard time because they get attacked a little more directly. Now, is that true or is that just,
They do.
yeah.
They do. I think PKs get a bad rap sometimes. Sometimes they think we're the bad kids, or the kids out there in them streets doing some things, or sometimes we're held to a higher standard and people forget that we're human like everyone else. So I think it's a challenge to be a PK. People haven't talked about that, and I think that's a conversation that needs to be had as well.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm sure there is some kind of group, like Facebook group or school group for
Has to
just
be.
PK.
If
Yeah,
not, I'm
there
gonna
has to.
start it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I imagine there's a lot of really successful people, but they've come through the journey, you know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and just think about it. Like when you're a PK, like I said, you're held to a higher standard, and people will see you. They'll say things about you or say things about your parents. And then you are put in this situation where you can't respond, because if you respond in anger, then you're looked at in a bad way. It's just crazy.
Mm, mm. Yeah, that's a lot of expectations.
Yeah, it's pressure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure
Yeah.
and expectations. Real, unrealistic expectations, right?
Yeah. 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 Unfairly placed on you guys.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But we learn to navigate. A lot of us do.
Yeah. Yeah. What are, do you have any opinion on the current state of Christian music and gospel music? I know there's stuff floating around about Maverick City, and then there's the Miles Minnick, movement. So there's great stuff that's happening. Do you have a favorite or a take on where the landscape is?
I don't have a take. I just had this conversation with a musician over the weekend about what's their take.
Mm,
You've been in the music industry before. It's very interesting. It's changed over the years, right? Since we've been in it, it's very commercialized. Of course it is. And I really don't have an opinion right now on it. I'm still trying to navigate to see where the music industry is for
yeah.
Christian artists, for gospel artists. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think there's some really good young artists that are breaking the mold, kind of, yeah, crashing into the mainstream opportunities. So I'm excited about, what is it? John, I forgot his name. It's the guy that runs with Miles Minnick. Yeah, those guys. And then social media and Christianity, and there's a lot of young people that are, reading the Bible literally on social, everything. It's incredible. On the flip side, the young kids are also seeing a lot of the ones that are depressed, and they're chronicling their anxiety, so the kids get both sides. For
Yeah.
the child that's, or maybe even the woman that's on social that gets influenced, can sway either way. What would be your encouragement to that type of viewer?
Social media is great, right? And it could also be not so great. And I think sometimes we get caught up in listening to so many different people. And I think when you are watching, first of all, let's say this: if we're talking about God and we're talking about church and Christianity, find yourself a home church, number one, period.
That's good. Okay.
Start there, right? You got to have a home church. You have to have somebody that is pouring into you spiritually on a weekly basis, someone that is uh, accessible to you when you have questions about your faith, your walk, or when you waver in your faith. You need somebody that is close to you that can share with you.
Mm,
Now, that's number one. I think if you have that foundation, you got Christ, and then you have that foundation of a home church, you're at a great start. Two, if you're going to look at social media, you have to find someone that's in line biblically with the word of God, right? And if you're new in the faith, That's why that home church is so important, because I think a lot of times when we see people on social media, when it comes down to like new ministers or Christians or whoever, everybody has their own opinions. Sometimes Christianity is mixed with so many different other things that some of these younger people may say, okay, I'm going to go use this device or go here and go that and just mix all these different things when you should be solid on Jesus, not those other things, right? So we're influenced by those other people. So find a person that's in alignment with the word of God and
Yeah.
let that person be your person, and silence all the noise of all these other people. Find the person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard someone say that if you're listening to preachers on a podcast on a weekly basis, good for you, but you don't have a pastor.
No, you don't. You don't. You really don't. Like that guy doesn't know you.
Yeah.
If something happens, you call him. He's not going to respond because, first of all, you don't have his number. Maybe you can call him on
Yeah.
Instagram or TikTok or something like that. But he's not going to reach out. He's not going to be there for you. He doesn't even know you. It's not your pastor. Get
No,
one.
internet. Okay, we should be back now. Okay, we should be back here. Okay, good. I think we're back.
Yeah, we're back. You're starting to
Yeah.
come in a little
Yeah.
clearer.
Much better. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty insightful saying. But you're right. If you can't pick up the phone and call the pastor or a pastor at your church, then that's a problem.
It is.
Yeah, and that's a temptation now, right? Is I can listen to the sermon, and I can stay home and chat. I live chat, in the YouTube stream. Ask for prayer. No, it's different. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And hey, nothing's wrong with bedside Baptist. That's what I call it. There's
yes,
nothing wrong with bedside Baptist, honestly, but whatever church that you are watching online every week, still try to connect with a small
yeah,
group or a life group so you can create community. The Bible talks about, don't forget to assemble yourselves with one another. Assembling yourselves is huge in your walk with God. Like, you really need a community of people and not do this thing alone. If not, you are setting yourself up for some trouble
yes,
if you try to do it by yourself.
yeah, yeah, and that's again, it's a huge temptation in today's era is the solo Christianity. Oh, I know theology, but that's just half of the truth of the gospel, right? It's community, because when Jesus left, he said to grow the church, build disciples, which, yeah, assumes that we live with people. um
Yes. He,
yeah,
he
so
had people.
yeah, 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 yeah. It sounds like what you're doing is helping to build leaders and women in the church, well, obviously everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely got a place in the church for sure,
Oh, for
because there's
sure.
women's ministry, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your heart and I appreciate your time. It sounds like you definitely have got some depth in your experience and what you bring to the table for the people that you talk to.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. Good for you. Good for you. I know a lot of women are looking to feel heard without saying, I need help.
Right.
Yeah. So people like you can come in. That's the miracle. Like they don't ask for help, but all of a sudden you're in front of them. You say something they relate to, and that literally becomes the miracle. So keep up the good work.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
like I always say, I'm here for you. Just reach out to me.
Now, are you writing a book or gonna record, like do a documentary or something? Because it sounds pretty exciting, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I am working on a book right now. I hope to have it released, in the next 6 months, but I definitely will keep you posted for sure. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, 6 months. Oh, good. 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 Yeah, you could probably do it sooner.
Well, maybe I'll do a series of books. I got to share
Yeah.
parts of my life that I think will definitely, empower people, empower women. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. Well, good, good, good. Yeah, I'll make sure to keep that in prayer because a book is huge, especially for women in that particular niche.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, they need to be connected. Yeah, at least feel seen.
And
Yeah.
heard. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why I do what I do. That's why I curate these spaces because you need to be seen and heard. I think when you share your story, that's like healing. It's part of
Mm,
your healing. Is the moment you start sharing your story. You know, we grew up in church testimony. You overcome. You start to begin
mm,
your healing process the moment you release it and let it out.
mm. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, are you going to start a new podcast and have people share their stories?
Right. Listen, now the conversation that we had before, that I'm thinking like, yeah, I probably might get back on that as far as
Yeah.
storytelling. Yeah, with women.
Yeah. 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 It could grow because it's so niche and it's like the community. I'm sure there's so many people that'll flock to it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna take that, use that. I'm gonna do that with TikTok. Y'all out there listening, if you are women and you want to share your story about what you've gone through,
Mm,
I have a platform for you, and there's so many people that are waiting to hear your story
amen.
because your story can change somebody's future.
Yeah. Isn't that something? It's like
Yeah.
you never know, but it actually could. Yeah.
hmm hmm
Yeah. So, where could they find you?
Well, y'all can find me on all socials: Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook. You can look for me there, Amanda Ramsey, and follow me and let's connect.
Yeah. Ehmandah. Amanda Ramsey on all socials and hit her up, man. Hit her, especially if you need to talk, and especially if you think you're good, but you know you're dying inside secretly. No need to feel bad. Amanda's here.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm your girl.
Yes. And then you'll get on the podcast.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Good to see you. Thank you.
All right. Good to see you. Thank you.